fewer showers these days as well from the working at home process.
Mm-hmm.
Just once a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, good.
I think I screwed up, you guys. I think I missed the whole intro, and I just went live right now. So.
Alrighty then.
Hi.
So hey, we're here. Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable.
Welcome to Whiskey Roundtable.
Your
Don't mind
host.
us.
Big G.
Karen L. Keller.
Doug Dunbar. Okay.
Hey, you know what? It's just been that kind of day.
I'm glad I checked early into the show, and I didn't wait for a while because I'm like, I hit it.
That's all right.
This is what. See, Chris, it's not your fault because I did it tonight, and you're not even here. So sorry about that. So
That's all right.
we were talking about we have no guests, but we have guests on the couch.
Well,
so.
we have an audience. We don't have any guests on the show, but we have
True.
an audience. So we have Sidecar, who's a regular guest, so to say, but he decided to opt out today. Smart guy. And then Dick Brandt's back for a cameo sit-in in the audience today. So what's up, gentlemen?
Just doing my deal.
Doing your deal.
Rode your motorcycle.
Rode your
you said?
motorcycle today.
Motorcycle today.
Took the training wheels off it?
Social distancing was fantastic. A couple people tried to get close to me, and I moved them away.
Yeah, we even moved the chairs so everybody's easily more than 6 feet apart.
Thank God.
So
I haven't bathed in
Dick's
3
sitting up
weeks.
on the steps up there. You guys can't see him, so he's sitting up there. He's probably 12, 14 foot away from Rob.
I have my 6-foot rod that I
Yeah,
take
but-
to the grocery.
Easy.
Easy.
Well, yeah.
Why you
but-
bragging? Bragger.
Why you got to be that
Yeah.
way?
Well, you
Doug?
just, I use
Shauna,
it to
you're a
keep
lucky
people
gal.
at a certain distance away. So.
Is that why
That comes in
Shauna's not
handy,
here
but-
tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little too much Doug this week?
I measure my 6 foot by inches. Okay, Doug.
I think that there will be a COVID baby boom.
Hey, I think
I
you're
think
right.
I'm predicting that,
Yeah.
and I do know that there's a big whiskey boom.
Mhm.
Consumption is high,
Exactly.
so we're here to continue during this trying time, and to we think provide this public service for everybody that's at home looking for things to do, enjoying a good whiskey. So what better than to tune into the Whiskey Roundtable?
I agree. Salute.
Yeah, what else are we going to do, right?
So, and then, because, for the quarantine, as I said, I'm staying with these guys, of course, obeying all the orders, and, it's working out pretty good. Karen snores a little bit, but other than
I do. I wake myself up sometimes.
Dick, do me a favor. Go upstairs by the door. There's that little table there, and there's a .45 caliber in there. Can you just pull it out and shoot the dog? No, sit down. I'm just kidding.
We're kidding.
I'll shoot her after the show.
He's
'Cause
kidding.
I'm only kidding, Dick. Really.
He's kidding. This ain't no Tiger King show. Come on now.
That's George.
we're
Dick brought
good
his
to
own
him.
gun. You go, son.
She's a lovely dog,
Boy.
but sometimes noisy during the show.
Oh yeah, she is. I love her, but
She-
how old is she?
she's gonna be 9 in
I
June. I
know.
can't believe it.
She's still
Crazy.
spry, man. I
And
think
how
she's gonna list
much
that
does
well.
she weigh now?
About
I wanna-
115,
yeah,
120.
anywhere about 115.
She's
The
an
little,
American Bulldog.
American Bulldog.
the little
Just
guy lost some weight. He's down
fantastic.
to 64 pounds.
He did look like he's
He's
strong.
lost some weight. I didn't realize how active bulldogs are. And meaning English
Yeah.
bulldogs. I mean, regular bulldogs, American bulls, they're very active dogs. I didn't realize how agile, how fast English bulldogs are. Crazy.
I just realized that bottle is right in your face. So I'm going to switch to this camera because there you go.
There you are.
So go, continue.
No, I'm just saying. Jimbo is so active, it's crazy. I didn't realize.
So Jimbo, for those of you that don't know, he's our English Bulldog. He's a little tank. He looks like Greg.
Isn't he on the entrance of the show? Isn't he? Still on?
No, we don't have him on the entrance right
he's
now.
gotta-
We've got to add him. So,
We have to add him on there. We'll put
but yeah,
one.
he's our little English Bulldog. He just turned 5 almost a month ago, a little over a month ago.
Yeah.
Hope
Greg's
all of our
meeting.
viewers have a good dram with them, and
Ah.
everybody's healthy out there.
I like our new
And,
bottle display.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that was right in your
the
face.
the high heel shoe. That's awesome. Kind of reminds me of Ralph's grandma in her working days.
Those are Ralph's shoes. He's
Those
just not wearing them anymore.
Yeah, he developed a corn. He can't wear them.
His back started to hurt.
Hey, I'm here.
All right, enough. Come on, let's get to whiskey, kids. Let's get to the whiskey. What's going on today?
okay.
We are drinking some new Riff Rye. That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
our-
Riff.
Bottle and bond, kids.
And
Bottle and bond.
I'm just a big rye fan overall.
Right,
So,
me too.
love the spicy, dry character very much. So looking forward to it. This is one that I may have had in one of our late after shows that I don't quite remember all that well, but so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, if you remember, after we shut the show down at the end of November, we were all of our new equipment and everything else that we did, and we were programming and getting all the apps and everything in to start the new show with all the new laptops and everything, microphones and all that. We indulged in a lot of different stuff.
Yes, that
That
great
was fun. I mean, it was fun considering,
Yeah.
It was a good time. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that time off, and I enjoyed putting all that, being a part of putting all that stuff together. It was cool.
And hopefully it was all worth it, and
Yeah,
regrouping
I
and
think
trying
so.
to get our act together
Absolutely.
a little bit.
We'll be fine.
Not that it wasn't before, but just
So
Kinda.
we've got a few people watching right now.
Okay.
Confucius says he's
Oh,
watching.
Oh,
Confucius. Which Confucius?
Confucius, Matt.
Oh, Matt.
Matt is watching, and
Confucius say, man who watch show get very educated. Just so you know.
and then we got Patrick Peterson.
Patterson.
Patterson, I'm
Patterson.
sorry.
And Chris, I assume.
Yeah, Mr. Patterson, keep your Peterson in your pants.
Well, you must have met him. Or
You don't have a 6-foot rod like Doug does.
Yeah, quit bragging, Mr. Peterson.
He's shout out to all the Brovern that are watching. I know that they will be on if they're not on now.
I want to know who's
they'll be
tagging
joining us.
who's tagging me in all the I know Greg has. I know that Matt has, myself. Who else? I have some other people tagging me on the Confucius thing, so
Yeah.
that's pretty funny. I'm going to try and keep that going as long as we can. And don't be surprised at 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning if you don't see my post, just so you know.
Yeah, probably after he's been down here drinking some bourbons.
That's been known to
Confucius.
happen.
It
Yeah,
has been known to happen.
Confucius like to talk after a few
Yes.
bourbons.
Confucius say, man that drink all night, be drunk all day.
Yes.
Just wrote
Yes.
that, kids. I just
Well,
wrote
you
that.
know,
I'm here all night.
Hemingway said that intelligent men sometimes are forced to get drunk to spend time with fools. So I don't know if this applies right now.
Well, I
but-
usually drink alone, so I don't
That's why our marriage has lasted this long.
So I have to tell you about. So I'm at work. I got to tell you the story. I'm sorry. I know we talked about we were going to whiskey, and we kind of, that's how we are. On topic, off topic. But anyway, so one of my good customers, known her for a while. She's reached out to me on the change on her policy, and she's all like, how's it going? Are you okay and everything good? I said, yeah. She goes, I'm surprised you're at the office. And I said, yeah. I said, I'm working here at the office because I'm by myself, and my wife is working from home. She goes, oh, okay. She goes, well, how come you're not home with your wife?
Oh.
Working side by side your wife. I go, you don't listen very well. I said, I told you, my wife is working from home and I'm working from the office. She cracked up. She goes, oh, you're bad. I said, yes, I am. Thank you very much. But it was
Right.
funny. That's why.
But it's kind of worked out because he's taken Jimbo to the office and
Yeah.
I've stayed here with Georgia. And
I take the little guy to the office.
Nice.
Dick rousted him up today.
yeah, got him all
Little
crazy.
Jimbo.
Did he hump your leg?
No, he didn't hump his leg. He's a man. He only humps the chicks.
Oh dear. All right, so we said we were going to start talking whiskey. And
All right, let's get back.
ahead.
I'm sorry, kids.
So what you're featuring tonight, again, the new Riff Rye Bottled in Bond.
Greg, you want to take
Correct.
that to the camera
I
over
do.
there? So
I do.
It's a little far away, so it might be hard to see. Oh wait, let me switch. There we go. Very nice. As you can see, we have been drinking this because
we have.
it's about a fourth left.
This was a brand new bottle back in December. But we like it. We like it. Perfect.
And I do have our Cleveland Bourbon Co-op barrel pick,
Uh-huh.
single barrel at home.
Mhm.
So looking forward to that sometime soon.
That is, have you opened yours yet?
No, as you know, I'm trying to drink only my already open bottles because
Uh-huh.
when I did that Whiskey Wizard about does whiskey go bad, and so
Right.
the less you have in the bottle, the less long it lasts. So I'm
Well-
trying to down all my bottles that are already open before I move to new ones. So,
Okay, so I have a bottle that has about that much in it that's open,
Yeah.
and I have one extra bottle. because I bought
Right.
2. So, let's drink it.
Okay.
Let's drink it.
And, we have some different ideas that we'll talk about later, but
Okay.
I am looking forward to, we brought up doing the blind taste test and some of
Yes.
those things
Yes.
based on other things that came up on previous shows. So just things we'll be planning and that y'all can look forward to in
Yeah,
the
that'll be
near
fun.
future. So,
That'll be fun.
Anyway, so Karen, you going to tell us about this one?
Yeah, I'm going to, but something that we
Oh.
did not talk about today are the cigars. Matt is
Oh,
asking
yes.
what cigar
What
did
cigar,
you smoke
G?
tonight?
All right, so I'm smoking a 660. This is from Royal Havana Cigars, one of our sponsors. Dave supplies us with all of our cigars and ashtrays and lighters and all kinds of stuff. And this cigar was actually made for me, for the Whiskey Roundtable. This is a Honduran, Ecuadorian blend cigar, 660 Maduro, full Maduro. That's what I smoke. I love Maduro cigars. I smoke them for breakfast. And so that's what I'm smoking. So this is a house cigar from Royal Havana Cigars. That's what I got.
Very nice.
What are you smoking?
This is probably a week old acid
Oh, okay.
cigar.
Yep.
But it's you stored it in the Huma
I
bag,
did put it in the Huma bag.
so it's
Nice and
fresh
soft.
and
There you
it's
go.
it's cool. So thank you for keeping me straight.
Every time anybody that's smoking half a cigar, I always say this: if you're smoking a cigar and you don't want to finish it, always turn it up so that the ash is straight up in the air.
Put your ash in the air.
Put your ash in the air, kids. Listen, all right, but make sure you keep your pants on. All right, so get your ash in the air and let that cigar go out, and it will not dry out the cigar or make it brittle or any of that stuff. And if you have a Huma bag, if you let it sit for an hour and it goes out, ash it out, get your ash out again, and put it in a Huma bag of some sort or some kind of humidity, and it'll smoke just like you lit it the day before. Just a little cigar tip.
I don't smoke cigars, of course, but if I did, I'd be smoking a Romeo and Julieta Edición Limitada. So.
Gotcha. Matt, are you smoking cigars tonight? Probably not. Killing me.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, what are you doing? Yeah. Where's
Nothing.
Chris? Is Chris on today?
No, I don't see any Chris.
Chris said he was going to be here, so
Yeah, it don't matter. He's from Pennsylvania.
he's distracted with something, but he'll remember.
He probably got into that.
Probably on a business call. He's in a
He'll
really
catch
big
up.
business
He'll catch
situation
up.
right
or
now.
he's still working through that 25 pack from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
All right, kids. So what do you got for history, honey?
All right. So some history. So New Riff Bottled in Bond was actually named one of the top 20 whiskeys of 2019 by
believe
Whiskey
it.
Advocate.
Not top 20 ryes, but top 20 whiskeys.
Whiskeys, yes. It was ranked 17th on the list, and it scored a 92 on the point scale. So I don't know a whole lot about the point scale. I don't know if you guys...
That's good.
I do not. Well, yeah, that's a good number, but I'm just saying.
Typically,
Anything
anything
over
in the
and over
90s is
yeah.
exceptional for most rating. Everybody has their own slightly different system, but that's going to be pretty good, I bet.
Yeah.
But if you don't like rye, it doesn't really mean that much.
Right.
But
So each bottle has, it is a bottled in bond, so it's 100% or 100 proof,
Yep.
50%. And the cost is right around $46.
Correct.
So, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
no,
Oh, I heard you.
no, I'm just intently listening.
You're going to jump in there. So New Riff Bottled in Bond is bottled in bond without chill filtration. It has a mash bill of 95% rye and 5% malted rye. And it's aged 4 years in a full-size 53-gallon toasted and charred new oak barrels.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. I don't know that
Yeah.
I've ever had a whiskey or a bourbon that's both toasted and charred. I don't know. Are there any out there? If anyone knows.
Yeah, right.
Well,
it's a dark color, that's for sure.
It is very dark. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. So, with everything closed now, excuse me, everything closed now, New Riff, the distiller, is actually open for curbside pickup. So not only can you get their bourbons, but they've got swag and all kinds of cool stuff that you can pick up. And there is a limit of 6 bottles per day.
And so for those fortunate people that happen to live in
Kentucky is
Kentucky.
it? I am sorry, I have it right here.
Bardstown
Bellevue.
Bellevue.
Bellevue. Yeah, if you're lucky enough, you just put your order in and go to the curbside pickup.
Now, just be aware there's a limit of 6 bottles per person. So,
So,
I'd be there every day.
well, you can pick it up. You place your order online,
Mm-hmm.
and you can pick it up between 3 and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, or noon and 3 p.m. on Saturday or Sunday.
That's what I'm talking about.
So if you are looking for some new Riff, you can call the distillery at 1-859-261-7433. Press option 1. You'll be connected to a staffer. They'll meet you at the door. Bring your photo ID and your order number. New Riff Distilling is at 24 Distillery Way, Newport/Bellevue, Kentucky. You can go to their website at newriffdistilling.com for more information. So
Nice.
I'm kind of excited about that. You know, hey, I know they just passed a new rule where here in Ohio, if you leave the state, you can't come back for like 14 days, or if you come back, you've got
Any state that connects to Ohio.
So we could be stuck in
Unless
Kentucky for 14 days.
Unless you work out of state, they're the only ones that have a pass.
So if you're traveling, let's say back to Nashville
Mm-hmm.
From Ohio, that's no problem. If you're got
But if you
Ohio-
want to come back to Ohio, you have to be quarantined for 14 days.
14 times
You have to stay in the
6.
state for 14 days.
We could have 84 stinking bottles of this stuff.
I'm kind
by
of
the time it's
interested.
done.
I'll be interested to see in the long run, after all the dust settles on this current crisis, how we look back at everything we did and what were the things that were right and what were the things that were wrong.
Well, it's the
and-
first time something like
Yeah,
this has
I mean,
happened in modern history, so to
I
say.
mean, the last pandemic was 1918,
Right.
right? So, and then we didn't have the internet, we didn't have all this communication. So
and
it's
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 a little bit-
understandable that all
Sure.
the confusion that we have.
It's a little bit of an inconvenience, but at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do. And you know what? Then, if God forbid, and so many years if it happens again, then we'll have a little bit better hold on what's going on.
Yeah, since the average length between pandemics is 100 years, my guess is we'll have forgotten all the lessons. But
So I have a question.
Who knows?
Can you just give me a little sterilization?
Yeah.
Oh,
Could you sterilize?
time to sterilize.
So while he's sterilizing, Matt is in his basement social distancing with Maker's Mark.
Good man.
Is that what you wanted, or no? Was it
Yeah.
this?
I'll still drink it. It don't matter to
You
me.
don't care.
It's 70% alcohol.
Well, and
Okay.
and Shauna, your lovely bride, just brought up about the distilleries that are making hand sanitizers.
Yep, absolutely. They know
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
That cracks me up about that. It's like, boom. They all of a sudden everybody start talking about all these distilleries making hand sanitizer. It's amazing how chemistry works, isn't it? Oh, we could do that. That's awesome.
Oh, mine, that's
Oh,
lavender
no.
scented, so. Okay.
Yeah,
I have
don't
to be
you all-
careful when I nose the
Yeah,
whiskey
so
that
good.
I'm not saying, oh, it's very. I smell lavender.
Don't y'all waste no whiskey washing your hands.
No, I have been washing my hands and face at least 6-8 times a day to a point where, my fingers are all dry and my skin's peeling and everything else over here. But I guess that's
I know. I've never
to
done it
suffer
more
through.
in my life than
that single
lately,
barrel is
so,
fantastic.
but anyway.
But we'll do that another day. All right, go ahead, honey. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I think I'm right about done. So yeah,
And they're their own distillery, right?
they are their own distillery,
Privately owned.
privately
right.
owned. You
Okay.
are correct.
All
You
right.
think like Buffalo Trace or any of them guys could come out with a hand sanitizer single barrel or something like that?
Well, I know they're
or
all.
a hand sanitizer pick. You know?
Yeah, they're all engaged in it. They're all engaged in it. I guess Sazerac is the largest holding company for whiskey, and all their companies are making hand sanitizer, as my lovely bride pointed out. So,
That's awesome.
hello to all the family
Yeah, thank you, lovely
back
bride.
home. I'll be home after all this is over. And,
14 days he'll be
yeah.
here.
So,
Ooh, your bride is broken into the good stuff.
Oh,
I know.
shit.
She
She's
showed me a
making a-
very full Manhattan.
Oh.
She sent me a text of a picture of a very full Manhattan she was about to partake in. So
Very good.
I
Enjoy.
like
And if
a good
I know her
man.
very well, she'll be asleep in about
That's all right.
20 minutes. So.
That's
Good
okay.
for you. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm just kidding.
She's been working very hard, so you deserve it,
Yes,
sweetheart.
she has.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you on Monday. Hope she falls into a deep sleep.
Oh, because she's gonna be sleeping. Gotcha.
Oh
I'm
my
a little
goodness!
slow, sorry.
That kill me. Good. So are we ready to pass this out?
Yeah. So do we want to read maybe some? I'll read some notes from my favorite distillers app.
Okay.
About the whiskey as you're
Pass it on.
passing it out. Surprisingly smoky. The nose starts with charred oak, flamed orange peel, oats, and the faintest hints of vanilla and burnt caramel. These aromas all mingle with an underlying sense of smokiness. I'm sure you're loving this, Pat, and a light layer of ethanol. Well, that's understandable. It's a fantastic start to the sip, drawing you in and making you wonder if it'll taste as unique as it smells, which I think it will. We'll see what they say about the palate in a minute.
You know, on the nose, I get no rye. For this being 100%
No, I agree.
rye, there's no rye.
I don't
On the
get
nose.
I don't get the ethanol either. I don't get that at
No.
all.
I definitely get the. You said orange. I get that.
Yeah, I definitely get orange peel.
I get orange peel. I get some of the oak, typical
Yeah,
oak and vanilla.
caramel, vanilla. I get all that. Something else in there. I can't pick it out. What'd you say was on the nose?
Caramel, hints of vanilla, which is typical.
Yeah, I don't get any.
You're usually going to get that from American oak. So.
Right. It smells. It's dynamite.
It
smells
does. It
fantastic.
does. I mean,
really
it's
does.
just truly a pleasure to nose this. It's
So this is
it's hard to define
the
for
same
me,
same
but very pleasant.
distiller, so to say. I just want to comment on this. I think Karen didn't mention it, but again, this is the company that started off with OKI. So
Oh,
any
that's
of
right.
you OKI fans, OKI is a great drink. I have an open bottle, and I am been preserving it, but that's something we're gonna have to end up drinking again.
I'm
but
getting
that's how
like
they started.
a little bit of like cocoa,
Man,
more
I'm
like
almost-
cocoa butter, just that kind of cocoa,
I'm getting a
soft cocoa aroma.
I'm getting a little grass out of it, but that's all I can pull out of it.
What do you get in sidecar? Do you smell? What about you, Dick? No, nothing.
Dick's not
He
even
takes
doing
another
it.
swig of his light beer, but
All right,
it's all right.
consistent, nice legs. All right, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
some.
let's, the palate, according to the Distillers app, has a light and silky mouthfeel, yet one that still delivers plenty of flavor, spicy and sweet with orange zest, which we've got on the nose for sure. Black pepper, tobacco leaf, and touches of honey and vanilla are also noticeable. Rye spice comes in large waves as I swirl the sip around my mouth.
I get the spice at the end, but I definitely get all that. This is really nice. I like this product. It's really a great product.
Now, in the Whiskey Wizard, since we're tasting, that's what the topic is this week. So.
I get a big honey aftertaste, but it's good. It's very good.
Right, I do get the honey, and I
Yeah.
get it's very smooth going
It is.
going in,
Mhm.
and then the rye kind of bursts once
Right.
you swallow it.
I get a little heat, but minimal.
Little heat in the middle,
Yeah.
not usually on the front end where you often get it, and then but it's not intense and lots of spice flavor. I don't know about tobacco leaf. Certainly, maybe some black pepper. I can get that, or even white pepper. To me, maybe, but orange zest for sure.
Yeah, orange zest for sure.
And then the typical kind of rye for me, the dry graininess and the like clove spice and things like that.
Very good. Very nice.
So I
What?
know that I won't mention any names, but somebody was looking. They had a rye that they did not like, Thomas Clark. You did not like, and you were looking for a new rye that you would like. If you find this, is this still in
Oh
stores?
yeah. Oh yeah. You can get.
You know, rye.
You know, for years I liked the Templeton 4-year rye. It's been a great product, so to say. But after I don't remember who it was that brought it to my attention. Might have been Joe. I don't know. But to find out that a lot of their stuff is put in there and not natural, and I was really turned off by that. And I haven't bought a Templeton product since.
Me neither.
I
Since
really
you told
haven't,
me that.
and that's too bad, because it's like it's kind of a piggyback to infused bourbons, so to say. Not that it's infused, it's not, but it's that same principle. Where you
But
start.
let's
doing
just
this
face
and
it.
doing that.
There's so much out there in the world
I
to
agree.
choose from.
Sure.
That so.
I mean, it might be good if you want to make a mixed drink or something. Maybe not necessarily just.
Yeah,
drinking
maybe a
it
Manhattan.
straight.
It's
Maybe
still very
Manhattan.
good for a Manhattan.
It'd be
It's-
good with some Coca-Cola or
It
something.
really goes well. So.
Not like that BV.
I like that BV. Yikes. So, all
Um,
right.
Anyhow.
Yeah, now they did say on the hot, fiery in the middle, which is what I wouldn't have called it fiery, but
No, I didn't
we
get-
did
I didn't
notice
get
that. Bold rye spice and peppery blast are found at the start, and spiciness lingers. I found that to be the case with a pleasing amount of heat. I would call it just a little bit compared to a lot of the stuff that we drink anyway, higher proof whiskeys. So for 100 proof, I'd say it's not very hot.
No, it's not at all.
It's remarkably
Not at all.
calm, and I'm a big fan.
I
would give it a definite thumbs up for sure, and would like to. I'm looking forward to my single barrel pick.
That'll be good.
Now that
Plus, we-
co-op pick is not a rye. It's just a regular, or
Oh, is it?
I don't
Is it
know.
not a
I don't know.
No,
I'm asking.
No, it's not a rye whiskey.
Oh,
the
my
co-op
bad.
pick is a
It's a bourbon.
it's a bourbon.
Okay. All right.
So it's
I'm
really
still
good.
looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
It's really good. I know the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op has put out a lot of products. I really enjoy the Old Forester that we did. That was fantastic. And then the new Riff was again fantastic. And then Tom's Foolery.
That's the rye.
fantastic.
That's the rye.
And I've been
so-
drinking Tom's Foolery since the beginning.
We have
start.
a Tom's Foolery barrel pick. Yeah, that's the one.
So, and they actually have a few different Tom Foolery picks.
Yeah.
So, the Applejack, the Bottled and Bond, they got all that stuff. I was a fan of Tom Foolery. A lot of people didn't like Tom Foolery, but even though at its youngest age, it's been fantastic.
So we've got some things going on.
Okay.
Go ahead,
uh,
read it
tell
up.
us.
Read it up.
Shauna's basically telling you to cut it out. She's fine. Don't say that she's going to be sleeping in 20 minutes because it's all good.
No,
Yeah.
it'll be a lot longer than that.
How many drinks has Shauna had today?
It don't matter. She's not. What is
I'm
she,
just curious.
accountant?
I'm
No,
just
she's not an
curious.
accountant.
I'm just keeping track.
Who's counting? So we've got some people out here. Patrick, he says he's not a rye fan.
Well, he's kind of he has a very narrow range.
Oh.
He was pretty much only a beer guy.
Okay.
In fact, even beer was pretty well restricted to Sierra Nevada Pale Ale and Heineken. So, but then we wore him down.
So he's dry like his
He
personality.
decided. No, if you knew him, you wouldn't say that he was a dry personality. But
You should say, man,
he's
who
a
don't
wild
drink beer.
Irishman, and he's about as big of a character as you'd ever want to meet. But he has now taken to single malt whiskey,
Oh, okay.
but he's very much narrowly into the Islas.
Gotcha.
Ah.
So he likes the smoky, peaty quality, which is interesting because
Right.
a lot of
Right.
first timers coming into whiskey
That's
would
a-
prefer the lightest,
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
kind
Right.
of,
I agree.
your Glenmorangies
Just like me.
or Glenmorangies.
Mm-hmm.
But no, so he's unique that way. But that's
All right.
very much like Pat because he's
Unique
a
to say
unique
the
guy.
least.
But so yeah, I'm not surprised that you're not into rye, Pat. But I think people that think of themselves only as kind of single malt whiskey drinkers, if you haven't really tried some good rye, give it a shot. Certainly, and then as we've talked in the last month, there's lots of Irish single malts, and I think that unless you really must have the smoky peatiness, there's a lot of those you would really enjoy.
So Patrick, what I think Doug is trying to say is that you're a huge disappointment to the friendship. So, with all that being said,
No,
what are we doing, kids?
One of my longest time buddies.
I know.
He's very unique, and love him as he is. So
You're very unique, Patrick.
So Patrick is also asking, what exactly makes something a rye versus a regular?
Well, Pat, that's a great question.
Go ahead.
What makes a rye is just the grain bill. When you think of a bourbon, so you're going to have at least 50% corn, well, over 50% corn, typically in the grain bill to be considered a bourbon, and then the rest is going to be a different varying amounts of rye and malted barley. So what makes something a rye is it in the grain bill it has more rye than anything else, over 51% rye, and then it typically has some corn, it has some malted barley in lower amounts. So it's kind of in the same family, but a rye is much drier typically and spicier than a bourbon, which lends to be more sweet because of the higher corn amount. So anyway, you might give it a shot. I'll help you with that if you're interested.
So Shauna has one Manhattan down.
Okay.
And I said, thank you, sir. May I have another?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well, that first one was pretty hefty looking. So.
Are the girls still in town, or are they back?
Girls are still home.
Yeah.
I assume they're watching.
Gotcha.
Kayla's saying, she said, she's the one that said.
Probably drinking her salted caramel cocktail. She's not
Vodka?
a whiskey drinker. I've been working on it, but only her brother is really taken to whiskey the way I have. So, but
Kayla, I have
there's still time, girls.
I have a perfect drink for salted caramel vodka. Tastes just like a caramel apple.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll share with your father, and he'll bring the recipe
All right,
home for you.
Will do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, we got off track tonight.
Yeah, we sure did. We sure did get off.
So, what does the Whiskey Wizard have to say tonight? Should we check in with him?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's check in with the Whiskey Wizard, and we'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
We'll be right back. Hang tight, guys.
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. Last time we talked about nosing whiskey to get most out of the whole drinking experience. So now let's look at tasting. I'd just like to point out that drinking and tasting are not necessarily the same thing. Just as nosing is a part of the whole process, so is the actual tasting, when one is concentrating on the whole experience, or experiencing the whole whiskey in your mouth and on your tongue. For the first taste, just start with a small amount on the tongue. Again, I've already nosed this. This is a pretty strong Islay single malt whiskey, but I keep my mouth pretty well closed and just let it coat the whole surface of my tongue and a little bit into my palate on the first taste. This is what seems to work best for me. Now I go in for the second sip. Now I chew my whiskey, letting it coat all parts of my palate. And open my mouth a little bit there in the middle of the taste, and for the finish, of course, as I swallow. So, as well as reaffirming those impressions that I got while nosing, I focus on the feel of the whiskey, all the while opening your mouth to engage your sense of smell. Your palate and nose can work together to tell you if the whiskey has a story, meaning how does it start? Is there a middle and an end, or what we call a finish? With some whiskeys, these stages are unique and pronounced. With others, it may be a bit simpler than that. Again, after swallowing the whiskey, what you sense is known as the finish, where often new flavors appear at that point. Sometimes the finish can be long or only an ephemeral, fleeting kind of a thing. Remember, taste comes from the tongue, while, as we discussed last time, complex flavor detection comes from your nose. So breathe to aid your orthonasal perception. Take another sip and repeat the process. As your tongue and mouth become more accustomed to the spirit, if you're like me, the second and third tastes yield even more information. I tend to find a higher proof spirit, particularly a few drops of spring water, can open up the whiskey's flavors and make them even more accessible. In Scottish single malt whiskey, the flavors I most often detect are vanilla, caramel, heather, honey, citrus, green apples, of course peat, smoked meat, and oceanic flavors like sea salt and iodine. The latter especially with an island dram like this one. If finished in sherry or port casks, I'll often get the added dark fruits and other herbal notes that I can add to that list of flavors. And that's certainly the case with this Kilco Man. With bourbon, vanilla and caramel are prevalent. Baking spices, brown sugar, and cloves as well. And fruity notes ranging from berries to even bananas. Pear to green apples are typical things I've found. Definitely toasted marshmallow is something that I get from some bourbons due to the barrel toasting process. Now, rye has a drier character, and I tend to notice more of the grain and soft herbal baking spices notes. So we all love drinking whiskey and want to get the most out of it, not to mention its facility as an effective social lubricant. Next time we'll talk about where some of these aromas and flavors actually come from, and then you may be well on your way to being able to discern your whiskey's unique story with just a quick nosing and a few good sips. So for now, this is Douglas Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard for the Whiskey Roundtable. And now, back to the live show.
All right, Whiskey Wizard.
Yeah,
You go, boy.
So,
Very nice.
you guys like that?
Absolutely.
All right. I know him, so I'll pass
We had a
that.
compliment from one of
All
the guys online, which was nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, taste and smell. We did the nosing of whiskey last week, and this week we kind of dove into tasting, and obviously the two are interlinked as far as that whole experience of getting the most out of the whiskey. And then we are going to talk probably next time about where do all those tastes really come from? The common things we taste, and whether you're talking about a single malt whiskey or a rye or a bourbon, what's actually producing those common tastes that we have. And obviously there's all the combinations of those things that make some of the more subtle things happen. So anyway, that'll be coming up. So
Awesome.
So I mentioned your daughter Kayla,
right,
but Lindsay
yeah.
is home as well. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Lindsay, but Kayla was coming through on here, so she got the mention. But thank you for watching as well.
Yeah, I forgot. Lindsay drinks about a bottle of whiskey a day. I forgot to. So she is.
You don't have any
He's
issues.
telling on you.
She's not much of a drinker in any way, but
You're drinking because you're at home, I'm sure.
that's okay.
You're right.
I'm not coming out of my room. Oh my goodness, that's too funny. That is funny.
It's funny to see everybody talking to each other online.
That is funny. That's awesome.
No Chris yet, though.
No Chris.
No,
He said
Chris.
he was excited and he would be tuning in.
Derek Debo, he likes the Whiskey Wizard.
Wait, Shauna, what is this? Just enjoying the social lubricant part of my Manhattan? Girl, I don't want to know.
TMI, Shona. TMI. Yikes.
You're going to have fun at home tonight.
Oh yeah.
Don't be sitting on that bottle of bitters.
That 6-foot rod's going to get some use tonight.
Oh no, come on, hey there.
Bow, bow, chicken bow. Bow, 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 bow.
Who ordered the old beef pizza, baby?
Got your sub sandwich.
My girls are going, oh, gross. Okay.
Hey, how do you two think you got here?
Yeah.
Right, I'm sure they know. Go ahead. I know the stork. I get it.
Yeah, well, let's not
too
let the
funny.
cat out of the bag. Okay.
Shauna's missing her popcorn, by the way.
Hey, Shauna, just so you know, I didn't make popcorn for anybody today. That's only our thing, okay? You only get popcorn.
By the way, the Tupperware is in the back of my car. I don't want to forget
Yeah,
to
that's
give
all right.
it back.
No
to
big
you.
deal.
But anyway.
No big deal.
It's all
So,
Did she make popcorn?
yes, she has several
Okay, good.
times.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Good.
so she was very thankful to get
Yep.
the extra supply from you.
There you
because
go.
They were all out of it in the store. Apparently, there was the hoarders did a big run on popcorn as well as toilet papers.
Shauna, I hate to say this, I have more popcorn than toilet paper, okay? Just so you know.
I don't
Well-
remember eating
I
corn.
don't remember eating that corn.
I think we're pretty good in that department, actually. That's
That's
part
good.
of our stock up thing we did.
All right. So what do we got? We got the news?
What's up? You got any news?
I do.
Anything you want to talk about?
I have a little bit of
Let's
news.
talk about whiskey news, shall we?
Let's talk a little bit about whiskey
A
news.
little whiskey news.
Basil Hayden 10-year bourbon should give lovers a non-age stated bottle, a little something extra with an additional years in the barrel. So Basil Hayden's coming out with a 10-year. The
Oh.
official tasting notes include increased complexity and heightened oak aromas, along with hints of char and vanilla, while maintaining Basil Hayden's trademark spice in every sip. So, with that being said, so Basil Hayden has a recipe.
Ooh.
The reason why this intrigued me was because of the cold brew that we did.
Yeah, right.
All right. So if you go to Bourbon News, you'll find that if you take 2 parts Basil Hayden's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, half part cold brew coffee, half part simple syrup, 2 dashes of bitters, and ground nutmeg just for the garnish, and you combine all the ingredients into a mixing glass with ice and stir until cold. I'm missing half the sentence here. Over a rocks in a glass, excuse me, and garnish with nutmeg. So again,
Wow. Now you
it's
said
supposed to be-
stare. Do you stare at it until it's cold? Or
I
you
stare until it goes cold.
Okay. Well, that's different.
Stir. Sorry, did I say stir?
Stare. You stare.
Well,
until
you know,
it's
that's my cigar.
cold. No, that would be maybe that's.
So that's so I am anxious to try that. So that bottle that's coming out will hit the shelves anytime now, and it's right around $60, which is I think about the going price for Basil Hayden.
Yeah, that's.
So I mean that's a Jim Beam product, and I like Jim Beam. So let's
all right.
do it. All right, cool. What else? You got any news?
New releases as we approach summer. Now, it doesn't feel like that yet, at least here, but a little single. We'll start with some single malt stuff. Kilkerran Heavily Peated Batch 3 is coming out soon and will be available. The exact date will be determined in part by when their staff is able to return to work. But the batch will be 80% bourbon to 20% sherry maturation and still packs a punch of peat and tropical fruit. So, Pat, maybe you would like that one. But Springbank, of course, 21-year-old. Now, I know the Brovern have been getting very much into Springbank, and this 21-year-old that's going to come out, an eclectic mix of bourbon, sherry, port, and rum casks have been blended and vatted for the legendary single bank 21-year-old, which is scheduled to be bottled and released in the coming month of May.
21, huh?
Yeah, so
Ooh, gotcha.
that's an Isla, and Pat, you need to get that if you don't have any. So. Hazelburn Sherry Wood is coming out, fully matured in Oloroso sherry casks, and is shaping up beautifully. They say almost ready to be bottled as a 12-year-old. And Long Row 18-year-old is coming out as well. 2020 edition will be ready to enjoy during the long summer nights ahead. So no exact release date, but I'm guessing based on that we're talking about June probably. And I hate to tell everybody out there, but the Campbelltown Malts Festival has been canceled. It was due to happen in May this year. So if you're planning to go to Scotland and to the Campbelltown Festival, you might want to change your travel plans. So we already talked about Sazerac Company and hand sanitizer, so we can move on from that. You got anything else, G?
I do. I have just a little bit of news here. Batches 4 and 5 of Old Charter Bourbon have arrived on the shelves in time for spring. So batch 4 is notably the first high rye blend from Charter's, clocking in at 116.8 proof.
Ooh.
With the 1997 with 1,997 bottles in existence. So batch 5 with more traditional rye bourbon mash bill were bottled at 115.1 proof.
Ooh.
Both very small batches and are made up of less than a dozen barrels, all sourced from Indiana. Expect these bottles to be $200 or more on the shelf, FYI.
Did it say when they're going to be released?
It's in spring.
Okay, we're in spring, so keep an eye out for those.
Right. So they will be released, and expect, like I said, the price tag of $200 each or more.
So Indiana, we may have to make a run for the border.
We may have to go to. We can't because we'll be quarantined over there. So.
That's okay.
We can't. We had to get
we'll have
through,
bourbon.
Yeah, we'll have bourbon.
We'll be happy.
We got a couple things to go through before we get there. But anyway, all right. So.
Little Irish whiskey news. The Irish Waterford Distillery will be releasing its first product in coming up here shortly. Its first cuvee is called Pilgrimage. It's bottled at 50% ABV, and they'll only be offering 1,000 of them with the slogan "I was here" on the label, and that can only be picked up from the distillery. They're on the northeast coast of Ireland, so once again, you guys, all our listeners, can take advantage of that on their next trip, which is probably not something
October.
they'll be able to do. Yeah. But no, there's an event they're having in May. Whether that's going to happen, we'll see, but that's the plan. It sounds very interesting. Now, the Bardstown Bourbon Company is having a contest for enthusiasts, fans, and connoisseurs to compete for a grand prize of $20,000 for a scholarship to the Moonshine University Executive Bourbon Steward Program. So I'm sure that we have more than a few listeners that might be interested in that. Phase 1 is a video submission, 1 minute or more on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, and to be sure to hashtag World's Top Whiskey Taster, and you can share your submission with them. And then Phase 2 is a regional from the winners of that. There's a regional qualifiers competition in Bardstown where you'll actually do some kind of a tasting experience, and they'll test your nose and tasting abilities. And then Phase 3 is the national finals, which will take place, and one winner from each of the qualifiers will be invited to compete for the top prize of the world's top whiskey taster. So
Nice.
The final event will take place this fall in Bairdstown at Bairdstown Bourbon Company in the bourbon capital of the world. So
Nice.
now,
Nice.
for full contest rules, terms, and conditions, please visit their site at bardstownbourbon.com/WTWT/rules. And there you go.
Awesome.
Ooh, that sounds
So,
amazing.
So I haven't looked it up yet. I just heard yesterday that Buffalo Trace is doing another create your own bourbon. So I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but it came from a very reliable source. So I'm going to look.
Well,
into
you would
it
be
and
all
see.
over that.
Yes. So
Big BT fan that you were.
I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and while we're talking about CYBP, frickin' Sidecar on April Fool's told everybody
CYPD.
he had got a bottle of CYBP for $45. I was all over. As soon as he posted that, I was like, dude, we drinking tonight?
All right.
You suck, Ralph. I just gotta say.
Ralphie,
Yeah.
that was fucking awesome.
I know.
Suck.
Absolutely awesome.
Before we leave the news, did we talk about the Four Roses Small Batch Select? Is that something you covered recently?
I think I
The
have
fourth rose, they call it.
I think I have a small batch select somewhere back there.
Oh, okay. So you already have taken advantage.
I haven't.
Okay.
I have
Anyway.
not. I don't think we've. What
We
are
didn't
you
talk about it
asking me?
tonight.
What are you asking me? If
I
talked
don't know
about
if we
that?
covered it in previous whiskey news, but
I don't think we have.
the
Go
new
ahead.
release Four Roses Small Batch Select. Previously been available in just 5 states. The non-chill filtered 104 proof. Now expanded to 13 markets, which includes now Indiana, Florida, Illinois, Massachusetts, Michigan, Missouri, New Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee, Washington, and Wisconsin. I didn't count, but hopefully that's right. And they'll join. Geez, I need to have some more of this.
Go ahead.
They'll join Four Roses'
Go
home
ahead.
state of Kentucky,
Go
along
ahead,
with
Shawna.
New York and California, Texas, and Georgia, where Small Batch Select is currently available. So,
I think. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I want to ask, because we've got some talk going on out here. So you were talking about the new proofs that were coming out. 160? 160?
No. 116.8.
116. Okay.
116 proof on batch 4, and batch 5 is 115.1 proof.
And that's from which distiller?
That is Old Charter bourbon. Old Charter.
Okay. So not 160.
No, 160.
116.
No,
That's
that-
a little
that- I don't-
bit
they can't-
easier
I
to
don't
take.
need-
Yeah.
That'll never hit the shelves. That proof.
No, because what is the? It's not the Stag. Is it the Stag that's 130 some proof?
Well, Stag is, I think, was 137. Don't hold me to that, kids. I don't remember.
It's 130
Now,
something.
so
but-
George T.
Ooh.
Stagg, when I was in down in the Carolinas this summer, we had it was 141 or 142 proof.
Gosh.
Is what we drank, and it did not drink like that. It
Was it smooth? It was
Oh
smooth
my
then.
God, it was fantastic. And I had a dram glass left in the bottle, and when I left, I accidentally friggin' left it there. So Small Batch Select, Four Roses, to answer your question, I do have it. I've had it for a while, but I have not opened it yet. So, just FYI. Any of the antique collection, I say this all the time. You can have your Blantons, you can have your friggin' Pappies. I don't care. The antique 5, I call them the 5-pack, blows any of that stuff away, and it's higher proof, and it's great product. It really is. I've had 4 of the 5 now. The only one I haven't had yet is the Eagle Rare, but I've had, and every one of them has been to my leisure. With a guy that gets them all the time. The only one he hasn't had has been the same thing. Anytime he gets one of the 5-pack, he's like, "Gee, let's do it." So we go over there and smoke a cigar and have some, and it's not one has been disappointing. Not one. And you know what? $99 a bottle. Each one of them is retail $99 a bottle. I'll buy that all day long over Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pappy is just all about.
We've had it several times.
I
All
know,
of them.
I know,
I
you
wish
know,
Chris was on, because he would probably give us a few comments about Pappy. It's one of his favorite topics when it comes to bourbons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something I think you have to try. Just to
It's-
say you've tried it.
It's good.
good.
Not all of them. In my personal opinion, not all of them are good. You know, and
Yeah.
but
I
you
think
know,
he marvels at the hype and marketing aspect that they.
whatever. But you know, I'm a different character, so
It is something that you do want to try.
Sure,
As
absolutely. Everybody
as a
should try
bourbon
it. I
and whiskey
agree.
lover, you
Sure.
do want to try it.
absolutely.
Just to try it, absolutely. Would I pay secondary market for it?
Hell no.
Hell no. But there are places where you can go, and I think we were fortunate enough to go to the Winking Lizard, or I'm sorry, Lizardville. They did a tasting of Pappy,
We've been to a couple tastings.
and we went there, and I got the 10-year and the 12-year ticket, and you got the
21 and 23.
15 and 20. God,
Well,
I'm sorry.
I've been to 3 Pappy tastings, and I don't remember what was at what time, but I've had all of them twice.
And they're good. I am
I
not
agree.
going to downplay that.
No,
they
it's
are
the rarity.
They're good.
It's the rarity.
They're good and
Right.
they're smooth.
Right.
But would I pay that secondary market? Hell no. But it's good. It's good.
I did a barrel pick, single barrel, during the holidays, and I lined it up with there was 4 of us. We tried. I put everything out there. Everybody did. I didn't tell them what it was. I said, try this. Everybody tried it. Everybody liked it, and that was Blanton's. Then I did the Buffalo Trace single barrel, and I said, if you were to drink one of these, which would it be? 3 of the 4 people picked the single barrel. And when I told them what they were drinking, they were blown away, because all of those guys that tried it, they're Blanton lovers. Blanton's. And I'm like, you know what? $65, $70, $100, $125 versus $34, and I've got it bought it at as low as $27. Early on when I was buying it, it was $19.99 a bottle, and
Remember, I talked about that study that was done,
Right.
and how much the price point on a whiskey influences people's perception
Right,
about
I agree.
its quality, and so that's why that was actually what prompted us to have our discussion about in the future. It'll be interesting on this show because we're all about the science and the reality
Sure.
of whiskey. So we're going to do a blind taste test. We're going to put ourselves to that because we all have our biases about things like that.
Sure.
And so we'll try some Buffalo Trace barrel pick. And then we'll put some of those things out there, and we'll do our own taste test. We'll do a blind taste test with the help of some other folks, and then it'll be interesting for us to all do that and talk about what we like the most,
Well,
why, and then we'll take the blindfolds off. We'll see how we did.
Yeah, I like that idea.
The Buffalo Trace single barrel. I have all kinds of different picks, all kinds of different barrels, and there's 2 picks that stand out, which in my personal opinion, and if Joe's watching, I'm sure he'll agree with it. There's 2 picks that stand out in all the picks that I have, and even then that would be something to do as well. Just a different blends of Buffalo Trace single barrel.
Patrick said Chris gets red at the mention of Pappy.
Yes, he does. He's given us a few written and verbal tirades
About what?
subject of Pappy.
About Pappy.
That's why I
Why?
just we somehow when he's on the show, and he is going to come on, and we're going to talk about, among other things, the Whiskey Rebellion and Pennsylvania's role in that, and then we have to bring up the topic of Pappy and get Chris's perspective.
So we went. I won't mention where, but we went after our show. And we went to a certain restaurant where you've
Right
eaten
before
several
the
times.
shutdown
Yeah, right
happened.
Right before the shutdown happened, and we were fortunate treated from the owner, because of our radio show and one of our sponsors, and he pulled out. He told those guys to come.
I had that. Too.
So you had the 2 that they had.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't drink any of it because I've had it, a few times, and it's.
Well, I mean,
it's
I
good
would say that
stuff.
it certainly did not disappoint.
No, it did
but,
not disappoint. I agree.
But what we were talking about is price point and secondary market and all that. So, as we know, there's such a universe of great whiskey out there that it's hard to pay those kind of prices, even though Pappy is very good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we could do a whole show just to talk about Pappy.
That would be fun sometime if we had some to do on the show, and if any of our guests, if anybody wants to come on and be a guest,
And
If
bring
you have
the baby
Pappy.
bottle.
I know
Bring
I
'em
know
all.
one of my brother and Pokey out there in Southern California has a couple bottles.
He's in the pokey? What?
His name's Pokey.
Pokey?
Oh, I thought he was in the pokey. I'm
Well, that's
sorry.
his nickname.
So Pokey,
He's-
is
he
it
likes
Pokey in the
horse
front,
racing.
stick him
He
in
likes
the rear?
horse racing.
Oh, just checking. Okay.
Sorry for disclosing trail names. Mickey Hopkins.
All right,
So-
kids,
Oh,
let's
now
wrap
we
it
know.
up.
That was a slip based on
Let's
the
wrap
rhyme,
it up.
but anyway, so
All right.
No, you
I'm
knocked
no
on the
Glenn. I'm no
table.
Glenn, guys. So
All right.
that was a slip. Anyway,
Anyway, do you have closing words for us?
just from the great glamorous movie star Ava Gardner said, "I wish to live to 150 years old, but the day I die, I wish it to be with a cigar in one hand and a glass of whiskey in the others."
Absolutely.
Amen.
That's a way
There's
to
a
go.
lady. Okay.
Amen. All right, kids. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. It was a good time. Sorry we were off topic quite a bit. It's just been that kind of a week, so to say. So we are going to be off next week. There will be no whiskey roundtable. We'll have. Are we going to post a show?
Good
What are we doing?
Friday.
Good
So
Friday. Yeah, we're
we'll
going
be
to post a
observing.
show.
Yeah,
on
we
that?
got to figure out what we're going to do.
All right,
if
so I'll get
anything.
with Zach. We'll get with Zach on that, and
Zachalicious.
we'll catch up with you guys in 2 weeks. So enjoy your holidays, be safe, stay sterile, and we'll see
Stay
you in
healthy.
2 weeks. All right.
Everyone.
All right.
We'll
All right.
see you in a couple
We're
weeks.
your hosts, Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
All
We'll
right.
talk
So
to you
long,
later.
Be
everybody.
safe, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing numbs the pain like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped. Poor Jack D would be out of a job. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee.